And the Lions, to me, I think the Lions are the best team in football. How far away are the Bills from the Lions? Maybe we do it this way, too. Like, we always talk about how the Bills would match up against XYZ, and it's almost always the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. And now we've added the Patriots. What happens in a Bills-Lions game? I know we saw it last year, and the Lions lost. But
the Bills just scorched them.
I guess the question gets to about the Bills. I saw Nate Geary tweeting about this yesterday because Chris Sims says he thinks the Bills lack pop. They lack juice. They lack a supporting cast for Josh Allen. And Nate he got into something that Brandon Beane said last year, which was, what are we talking about here? The Bills being broken or not having playmakers. They just last year scored 30 points per game and on and on and on. Like, we've heard that a lot. And my question is, how much does that mean to you right now? How much does it mean to you, to anybody, that they have last year as a resume builder? Because I brought this up last week. It occurs to me, every evaluation of football 7 weeks in is about last year. Mm-hmm. Still is. Oh, the Colts? Pfft, that's Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Have you seen what Daniel Jones is doing this year? Nobody cares. I know what Daniel Jones is, right? The Chiefs, oh, wow, 3-3. They're off to a rough start. Who cares? Last year. They're awesome last year. Mm-hmm. And the Bills are getting the benefit of the doubt on what they look like through 6 games, in large part because of last year. So,
yeah.
How much does it mean to you, and how much should it mean that last year happened and they had a great offense last year, right? Had a great offense.
I mean, you even could use the last 2 years, couldn't you? That the Bills ran into a rough patch, especially offensively, in the middle of the year, and they fired a coordinator and traded for a wide receiver. And it might have felt like the sky was falling both years, especially when they're 6-6, obviously. But what happened both of the last 2 years after rough patches in the middle? Like, they figured it out. They got there. In 2 years ago, it was with a coordinator change and, a stylistic maybe problem between your personnel and what you were doing, and it just didn't matter. Like, you were just going to win the division, and you were going to find a way to score your points, and that was true last year again. So it means some. I don't want to say it means nothing, because I do want to think that even if they don't figure out how to get that pop, how they figure out how to throw the ball down the field, or maybe Coleman continues to not produce for them, that they'll still win their 11, 12 games. Right. And they'll get to the postseason.
And that's fine.
But I don't think – it depends what you think fine is, what you think, them being okay is, because I am looking at what their issues are right now, and I'm thinking about that becoming problems in the playoffs. And that – I think there's a difference between they'll be okay, I'm going to get to the postseason and maybe even win the division, and I'll be okay, I'm going to beat Kansas City. Nothing that I'm seeing right now is giving me any confidence of that right now yet. So I don't think it really means. It doesn't mean everything.
No,
it definitely doesn't mean everything to me that they've just figured it out the last couple of years after rough patches.
I'll read you Nate's tweet because again, like, to me, this is worth mentioning. Just like, does everybody else feel this way too? Which is, last year they went through this. Last year they scored 30 points a game, and they have the same offense, but they've added Josh Palmer. Cooper and Hollins are gone, and Palmer's in, and Elijah Moore's in.
Yeah.
But most of it is the same. Continuity is there. They had a couple bad games, but again, like, they'll be fine. Why does the offense, why does it feel so much worse? Is it only Allen getting sacked?
Allen getting sacked is a big reason.
Allen getting sacked and Allen taking hits is scary for a lot of reasons. But they run the ball really well still. They can lean on that again. So much of it is just back. And for all the trade for Olave chatter, like, you know me, I'd be all about having a receiver of that caliber on the team, or if it's Rashid Shaheed. I guess I look at it, Joe, and I say, of course, I've been banging the drum for receiver for like 5 years, more investments at that position and just getting better there, even with Diggs. This idea that they're going to just trade for Olave, the Saints aren't going to do that, right?
Trade Olave?
Yeah. Diana Rossini reported that he's a big part of their future, and they're going to start talking extension. Okay, so take him off the board? Yeah. Shaheed? Okay, I guess. I've yet to see an idea that I think could happen and should happen. There's some I think should, but I don't think it could. Could Olave happen? No, I don't think it could.
What's the problem with the Shaheed idea?
There's not really a problem with it. I guess I just don't. I don't know why the Saints will do it, and I also think there'd be probably another team more motivated to do it.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't the Patriots do Shaheed? Why wouldn't the Chiefs? Well, the Chiefs don't need any more speed. Why wouldn't?
It'd be hilarious though if they just did that too.
It would be utterly hilarious. Why wouldn't the Texans do Shaheed? Because Tank Dell's out. I don't know. Why wouldn't an NFC team try and snag him at the top of their? The Eagles don't need it. The Bucks, now that Evans is gone, I don't know if they trade him in the division, and the Bucks are pretty much flush at receiver. Like, I don't know. Shaheed's a fine idea. I like the idea, but I see everyone pounding the table for receiver, and I think I take the GM at his word that he thinks they're more than adequate.
But how many games does he have to see before that's evident that that's not the case?
I think
if it happens 2 more times, could it change?
Isn't it more likely he saw the game against Atlanta and that reaffirmed we're good? Like Palmer got open downfield. This team saw that without Kincaid, and now they think I've got Kincaid, I've got Palmer. When I'm healthy, I'm going to be just fine.
Or did he see the Atlanta game and think, if Josh Palmer, am I this fragile that Josh Palmer leaves the lineup and I can't do anything?
Well, Palmer and Kincaid leave the lineup.
Palmer and Kincaid.
Yeah.
But it proves that your depth at certain skills at that position just isn't there.
That's right.
Like guys that get open, and really what it could, I think if I were trying to be hopeful that they would convince themselves, okay, we do actually need to do something at this position, it wouldn't be that, well, we didn't have Palmer and Kincaid, if we have them, we'll be fine. It would be, oh, we didn't have Palmer and Kincaid, and that really highlighted how little we can trust Keon Coleman.
That to me,
that is the guy that we need to.
That's a different conversation. If you want to talk about how the lesson is, Coleman is not yet a guy to be trusted, or maybe he's never going to be a guy to be trusted. Like, that's a conversation for, are you moving him? If you want to talk about a trade for a receiver that involves swap, yeah, I mean, maybe that's insane to some people, the idea they would give up so soon. Would they give up this offseason? Would they trade somebody else, like Curtis Samuel, out of the middle of their receiver room and move Coleman into the slot to split time with I don't know. I feel like these are separate issues. I think that as a group, I want to take the GM for what he said. I don't think he's going to back off. He was bullish on the group. He's bullish on 30 points per game. For Nate's point about how, what are you worried about? They did this last year, and they added a better receiver in Josh Palmer. Isn't the GM thinking the same thing?
They also, though, last year also did add a receiver that took snaps away and routes away from a lot of these guys. And not to say Cooper was great, but that's kind of why I like the Shaheed idea. Is I don't need Shaheed to go out there and play every snap and go be 10 targets a game, but okay, you want to move Coleman around, or how about just ask him to do one thing less that he's clearly not capable of, which is getting open down the field. Why don't we just take that off his plate? Well, the reason you can't take that off his plate right now is you don't have anybody else that could do it. And if you had Rashid Shaheed in the building, it's, all right, this actually helps Coleman. Why is it that Kincaid can have every backup in the world that can do everything that he can't, and he's only playing 49% of the snaps, but, Coleman's got to be out there for 100. He's got to do everything. To me, surround Coleman with more help where he doesn't have to play every role, be out there for every single snap. That's why I would be looking at getting one of these guys, but it's got to be the specific type. It's got to be a guy that can do a thing that I don't think Coleman is capable of, and that's why the downfield part of it with Shaheed is really enticing.